And we are back for another episode of Bell to Bell, brought to you by Jackpot City Casinos. If you haven't already, guys, check out jackpotcitycasinos.com or download the app and, spin to win. Free spins, big wins. That's what they say about a lot of chaos, like, again, in the professional wrestling world. And that's what we're here to talk about, professional wrestling. There's a ton going on. Obviously, this weekend, the Royal Rumble. I'm here with Rain City Toys RV. We've talked about this every week, but I guess now is the time since it is this Saturday in Saudi Arabia. We got to make our Royal Rumble.
What? I think you said it too, right? This is your favorite event of the year?
One of. I don't know. I can't. I don't know. That's hard. I will say, like, that's hard. But it's one of my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. This definitely draws in more of the casual fans too.
This
Rumble.
this Rumble to Mania is like, the stretch is like where people tune in.
Yeah.
No, but you're right. Most of our friends only want to watch the Rumble because they like the concept. You're right.
Yeah, because they just want. We knew what the Rumble was, and I got guys come over. We'll gamble. We'll make our Rumble pool. They're cheering for who's coming out. They don't know half the wrestlers, but anytime a new guy comes out, it's
always fun. If anyone needs an idea for this weekend, is the whole, and it is early. It's gonna be like 11 a.m. our time, but it's the whole. The raffling the numbers, so everyone picks a number, and if your number wins, you win the pot. Depending how many people are there, you get a certain amount of numbers. Like if you have like two people there, it's 50 numbers each. You got a 50% chance of winning. But you got to try to say, like, you guys drop the numbers that you want, and then it's always fun.
So Rumble's here. So do you have a prediction yet? Are you excited?
So we're gonna do our predictions. I feel like I have more of a prediction than I did last week, 2 weeks ago.
I think I'm more confused after watching Raw last week. Like, I'm more torn now. I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. Oh, sorry. What did I say? Last week?
Yeah, I don't know. He said last week.
Well, that's all. My brain, man.
We'll start with you then. We'll start with you. Men's Royal Rumble. What is your prediction?
You know what? I don't know if you saw that ESPN clip where they asked Seth Rollins and, on Stephen A. Smith.
You think Seth is coming back?
I really hope. It was not in my plans. I'm about to change my Rumble prediction for like the 5th time, right? But I don't know if he's coming back or not. I know he played it off well. He's like, no, I'm still a couple months away. And now the fact that Adam Pearce added all these guys to the Rumble, and Paul Heyman looked a little distraught. With all that being said, I'm still picking Gunther.
I know that he's like, with that all being said about Seth Rollins, I'm just saying Gunther.
Something's happening there, though. Something is brewing. But I'm picking Gunther.
We did see on Raw when Finn requested or declared for the Rumble, Adam Pearce was like, the Rumble is full. Obviously, we still have to go through a SmackDown this Friday. And maybe there'll be some NXT
Is Gunther in the Rumble? Is Gunther
he is.
He
said he's doing double duty. Still not 100% sure if he's in it, but he said he's doing double duty. But that being said,
then I'm sticking with Gunther here.
That being said, let me check announced participants. Yeah, Gunther's announced.
Okay.
So back what I'll say. So Finn went to Adam Pearce and requested and declared to be in the Rumble, and Adam Pearce said the Rumble is full. We still have to go through SmackDown, and you don't know. Maybe some people on NXT might declare. We don't know. Maybe they'll show us some surprises. But Adam Pearce was very big on like, oh, the Rumble's full. And then they showed the graphic for the Rumble, and I swear they showed like 8 guys that were like confirmed, right?
Yeah, I can't even name you.
But Adam Pearce is like, no, the whole Rumble's full. Like, we're done, Finn. You can't get in. I'm like,
okay, you tell me. Well, Seth,
dude, the only guys that know, Cody Rhodes, Gunther, Jey Uso. Listen, Cody Rhodes, Gunther, Jey Uso, Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, Penta, Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Braun Breaker, Logan Paul, Braun Sweet, Austin Theory, Javon Evans, and Oba Femi. So that's a solid chunk of people. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So half the Rumble's been filled. There's 15 other people.
I don't think Ray's gonna make it there, man. He
might have got her. Yeah. But my point is this. Who is it filled with? Like, I know once again, there might be some NXT surprises. We still have a SmackDown to get to, but I'm just like,
Oba might show up.
He's in it. It was announced yesterday that he's in it.
Okay, but, so
it's just I don't know. It was this,
Miz, R-Truth,
Miz, Kit Wilson, Matt Cardona,
Otis,
Damian Priest.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I just thought it was funny that they said the Rumble's full, and then they showed the graphics, and they just kept showing the same 8 guys over again, like switching.
How would you feel if you're Finn Balor and then you find out like Tozawa's in the Rumble over you?
I think you'd be pretty. But that's my thing with Finn. So once we found out that Finn's not in, Lost it in Raw. And my
Yeah.
whole thing with Finn is like, I kind of like, okay. So my prediction would be that like I could see Gunther winning, but for some reason I'm seeing like I don't know. I still think like
Pick somebody,
I
man.
still see a Braun Breaker winning. I still think that can happen, right?
Mhm.
I still see like who else is on this list? Gunther is someone I see winning. I see a Braun Breaker winning, but if you know, and obviously the obvious choice is that if they won, it makes sense, but it also kind of sucks. Is Cody or Roman winning, right? Like I can see Roman winning and I can see Cody winning, right? Those are like big names that like if they won, whatever, but like it's like not that shocking at all. Braun Breaker would be shocking. Gunther would kind of be like, oh, okay, now what title is he gonna go for? But now there's something about me that's like, if it can somehow happen, and we've seen it happen in the past where like someone knocks out somebody and takes their spot, you know, like
Chris Jericho?
no, I don't even think it's Jericho. I was like, what if somehow Finn does win the Rumble? Because if we're not getting Finn versus Punk at the Royal Rumble after what he did on Raw yesterday, what if Finn wins the Rumble? And why is what if Finn finally gets to win the world title at WrestleMania?
No. What if we find out the reason Finn can't get in, the last spot was taken up by Dominic Mysterio?
That could happen too. That somehow Dom's in it, he's not, and that's not beef.
The Dom is the one that told Pierce, hey, I want that final spot, which keeps Finn out. And then
because we did also see Punk be like, you got to leave the Judgment Day to get what you want, and you can't be hanging around with a scum like Dom Mysterio.
I really hope it's.
And then you fast forward to Liv being like, why you listen to Punk? Why, where your family, yada, yada, yada. So there's that tension there.
Yeah, there's a piece of me where I'm thinking maybe they might do Finn and Dom at WrestleMania this year.
Yeah, I would. I think so. I am Finn. Yeah, that might be the case too. It might just be Finn and Dom. My prediction is probably Braun Breaker, and I can see a Braun or a Gunther or a Roman or a Cody winning this. Those are probably the 4 favorites.
You just pick 4 guys.
No, I said those are 4 favorites, but I'm going with Braun Breaker. But I'm not. Like I'm kind of down for Finn to win. If like you know. If I had to put money on it, I'd say Breaker. But if I like
LA Knight in the Rumble, LA Knight,
he probably make a big return pop to be in the Rumble. He should. I don't know where he
gets
is.
a big pop out there. No, but he gets a big pop out there.
Yeah, no, for sure.
They love him out there.
We'll see. Him winning the Rumble would be such a swerve. It'd be like Jey Uso winning the Rumble. You know, he'd be like, oh, wait a minute. And you got LA Knight. Who's the champion on the other show? Against Drew? I don't know.
No, but
you get a fatal 4-way. You get Cody versus Drew versus Jacob versus LA Knight at WrestleMania, and I think people would be down with that.
No, but doesn't Punk and LA Knight kind of have a little bit of a?
Yeah, they had some tension, but like nothing.
Yeah,
but LA Knight has beef with a lot of people that go nowhere. He was also beefing with the Vision, and then they just canned him from War Games to put other people in it.
That's true.
Yeah, that's the LA Knight problem. The other thing that you could build here, which means neither of them win the Rumble, that I would be game for, which I know maybe it's not everybody's favorite, is if this could somehow, something happens in the Rumble that leads to Roman Reigns versus Braun Breaker in a singles match. I think that's a WrestleMania card-worthy match, and if neither of them win the Rumble, but like say Braun's the one that eliminates Roman or vice versa, like I can see that being a thing, and I would be there for it because I think Roman's in a spot where he doesn't need to be in a title match, but he can establish stars like Braun Breaker. Do you think Chris Jericho is going to be in the Rumble?
I'm saying he shows up. I think he'll enter.
All right.
He's going to enter. He's probably not going to win, but if he does win, that would be pretty wild. But all signs point to Jericho coming to the Rumble. I'm sure they love him out there too, and he's an OG, so
they love it. They love legends. Yeah,
yeah. So
I don't think he'd win either, but I do think he might appear if he is coming back to WWE. And it's like sooner than like this would be the spot to build to the road to WrestleMania. Who would he work with at WrestleMania? Now that's a question I do not know.
CM Punk?
No, I don't see him working on the world title picture. I see him working with someone.
Is there a point of bringing him back if he's not going to be in the world title picture?
I think he'll be in the world title eventually. I don't think right off the bat.
Really?
No,
I think you got to bring him into the world title picture like right off the bat.
I don't think so. I think he just like this side, and I feel like he's more on the Raw side because I don't see him working like Jacob and Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. I feel like he's on the Raw side, like maybe working the Vision guys or something. Because you know, like maybe working.
That's another thing. Would he come back as a heel or a babyface?
I think he comes back as a babyface. I think initially you come back as a babyface. If the fans turn on him, that's different. But I think he's gonna get a pop when he comes back. People are gonna be happy to see him, right? It's hard to come back as a heel. right? He'd have to do something very dastardly, like cost AJ Styles his retirement match or something crazy, you know, like for people to really hate him.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I could see a tag match. I guess something developing into a tag
I
match
could
with
see
this guy
him
too.
like wrestling, and that's the thing too. Like you got to remember, like Jericho isn't the same Jericho he was even 5 years ago. And I know he's gotten in shape. I don't think it'll be tough, but I know he's gotten in shape this time. But he's gonna work with someone that's gonna also like, I don't know, they can tell a story. Like even Chris Jericho versus Bronson Reed at WrestleMania. Like I'll take it. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you know what I'm trying to say? Chris Jericho was Austin Theory or something. I'll take it. Like he's the OG now. He doesn't need to. In AEW, he needed to be the first champion to like help elevate that company because it just started. But in WWE, he's an established guy already. There's nothing for him to, you know, like maybe he turns heel because he cost Sammy his shot. And then he goes into a feud with Sami Zayn or something. Who knows? Let's talk about the Women's Rumble. Is your prediction still the same? Or are you still relying on the whole Bianca thing?
I think so.
Yeah.
If she enters, she's winning.
Yeah. I know this is not a straight prediction, but I'm still on Bianca or Liv. One of the two of them. We could just get surprised, and it could be like, and I think a lot of people will be disappointed if Bianca is not cleared yet to even be in it. But instead of Bianca being the one set up to wrestle Jade at WrestleMania, it just ends up being Tiffany Stratton. We haven't seen her.
We haven't seen Tiffany. Yeah, you're right. If I had to make another selection, I guess my dark horse, pick, I'm going to say Jordynne Grace.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She's already kind of getting in the face of Jade. They're trying to build something like this. So I could definitely see that. I'm looking at the list. A lot of the women are already like involved in the tag division. WWE Unreal kind of already let us know what they feel about Chelsea Green.
Yeah, that sucks. Shockingly, they didn't win the tag titles on Saturday nights.
No, they didn't. So that's what I'm saying. Like maybe Liv, or maybe
we thought they'd be going in as champions.
Maybe it is a returning either Bianca or Tiffany Stratton. Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. Obviously, Sami won the Fatal 4-Way at Saturday Night's Main Event against Trick Warden and whatnot, like we predicted. Winning a match in his home country land of Montreal, and now going to his like ancestry land of Saudi Arabia to wrestle. Where he's very supported over there too. Just like a big Sami Zayn run here. Do you think he wins the WWE Championship?
No.
Okay.
As much as it'd be a nice title change, but I don't think so.
And I wanted to leave this. I agree with you, by the way. I don't think he wins. I think, I posted a thing yesterday with -7 Sports where like they did AI predictions for WWE 2026, and they were pretty bad. But one that kind of stood out to me that I was like, oh, wait a minute, is Sami Zayn wins the Money in the Bank. And I was like, oh, that can work this year. If we keep telling this Sami needs to win the WWE title and he gets so desperate that he needs to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, and he does, I'm like, okay. And then by the end of the year, he can cash in. There's a story there. There's something going on there. So
unless Sami somehow enters the title picture and like you said, your favorite match, a Fatal 4, Sami, Cody, Jacob, and Drew McIntyre.
Maybe he does.
That can develop too.
But I feel like it's something you can build throughout the year of like he keeps getting close, but he doesn't get it. Keeps getting close and he doesn't get it, but he's gonna get it. Like we know the payoff. It's just like when.
Would you be okay with like a gimmick match as a main event at WrestleMania, like a Fatal 4 cage match or a Hell in a Cell? Or
if you asked me this 10 years ago when I was younger, I'd be like, hell yeah. Old head me's like, let's give me a wrestling match. I don't need all the blood and guts and cage and weapons. Just give me like a wrestling match. Show me that you can wrestle. I want to leave this for last because, I guess first things first, do you think there's any surprise entrants from the men of the Women's Royal Rumbles?
Well,
like we said Jericho, we said Tiffany and Bianca. I think some NXT stars will probably be on both.
Will Hobbs?
Jelly Roll? I don't know. Maybe Hobbs, maybe. Royce, I forget his name. It's Royce something to Will Hobbs. I think they got Royce Keys, I believe it is. That's his rumored WWE name. And then I saw somewhere that his kid's name is Royce, so it makes sense too that he would want to change his name to Royce Keys or something.
And for women surprise, not really sure. Like Trish, Lita.
Yeah, some legends maybe, but they'd have to go to Saudi, so maybe Trish.
Yeah.
This is going to be the Royal Rumble while the women are in their bodysuit Power Ranger outfits. So, which, you know, I'll give them a benefit of the doubt. The women, like, they still find a way, like, let's make my bodysuit outfit look cool. Like, let's make it look, let's get a creative, cool looking attire for this event.
Better than, I think the first time they went, didn't they just wear like long t-shirts?
They wore bodysuits with t-shirts on top when Natty wrestled Lacey for the first time the women wrestled them. But now it's like they get creative with their bodysuits. Like, they make it part of the attire cool. But yeah, I don't know about surprise. Jelly Roll maybe for the man. Bad Bunny if he's free. I don't know. There's always those random celebrities. Speed got speared last year. Who knows? Maybe tries to make a return.
Yeah, whoever it is, just remember they took Finn Balor's spot.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And then on the women's, I think it's more so like maybe some legends, maybe some returns. I mean, maybe Michelle McCool, WWE's biggest legend, right? Maybe that. We'll see. Anyways, like I was getting to, the last thing on the card would be, and I want to leave this to last. I feel like we're gonna spend some time talking about it. Is AJ Styles, and the big looming question is AJ Styles versus Gunther, and if AJ Styles loses, it's the end of his career. And boy, have they been playing it like, here's the last match of AJ and Shinsuke. Okay, here you go. Here's CM Punk versus AJ because you guys all wanted this, which is making it feel more and more like, wait, did he plan to retire at the Royal Rumble this entire time? And there's like something kind of poetic about it because he made his debut at the Royal Rumble. And I know a lot of wrestling fans
10 years ago.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of wrestling fans are like, oh, just like get to WrestleMania. At least he'll retire at WrestleMania, have one last match. But like even John Cena didn't retire at WrestleMania. He could have waited another 3 months. He retired at Saturday Night's main event on December 13th. Like,
yeah,
you know, like, where do you stand in this? Is this AJ Styles' last match, or does AJ Styles continue wrestling?
I'm gonna say this will, it will be his last match in WWE.
You really think he's gonna wrestle anywhere else? Because I feel like if he's gonna retire, he's gonna retire.
I think he goes back to TNA.
I don't.
He wrestles one match out there.
So I feel like they've been having him come there. They've had him kind of tease wrestling there, the way he was looking at Kazarian's belt at the AMC debut. But then I'm just like, is there? Like, I don't know if they wanted him to wrestle. If they wanted him to wrestle there, like, wouldn't they have already had him wrestle there?
Maybe he's gonna leave his WWE contract first, and then
no, because they have a relationship with TNA. Why would? He does
maybe
WWE
he wants to go to the other.
Joe Hendry was in TNA and wrestled at WrestleMania. There's no like.
Well, you said the word Joe's. Maybe he wants to also go wrestle in AEW and wrestle his buddy Samoa Joe one last time.
You know what would be so crazy though, is if AJ wrestled on Impact this week and then like on Thursday went and wrestled Mike Santana, flew to Saudi Arabia. Like, and then you really know, like, oh, wait a minute, maybe this is it. Like, he showed up here again, and now he's having a match on TNA, and now that, oh my God. I don't know. Do you think he wrestles? You think he wrestles in AEW?
I think there's a chance he goes to AEW.
I don't think so.
He loves wrestling. He loves wrestling.
But he's talked about wanting to retire for like 3 years now. He would be sitting on Twitch streams being like, this is my last contract that I just signed.
He can retire, but what's one match?
It's coming. It's okay. Yeah, you know what never happened?
It's just one.
You want to know what never happened before? Shawn Michaels and Triple H versus the Brothers of Destruction. That match never happened.
Oh, yeah.
You know what does it? You know what I don't count as a match? I think it was more of a segment that was kind of a brawl. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Kevin Owens. That one match kind of ruins things sometimes. Okay, do you remember when Ric Flair was on the apron in a pool of his own blood that could barely get up for Ric Flair's last match? That one match can ruin things.
He didn't.
Do you remember when Goldberg kept coming back to wrestle people and had a bad match with The Undertaker? And then just do you remember The Undertaker? Do you remember when The Undertaker couldn't retire and just had a bad match with Goldberg and then a bad match with this person?
Styles is not any of these guys.
No,
He's
AJ Styles is the most flawless, untouchable wrestler. Sometimes it's easy to forget that AJ Styles is on the card because he's so non-controversial. He's always good. He is so consistent. He is who he is. But part of the reason he wants to retire is because he's openly said, I don't want their fans to see an AJ Styles that isn't the AJ Styles that they know and remember.
Yeah, so he has this whole year.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. And I get it. Like, don't get me wrong. Dream matches. AEW is the dream match, like the home of dream matches. AJ Styles versus Will Ospreay. AJ Styles versus Kenny Omega. AJ Styles versus MJF. I want to see all these things too. I actually do. I just think he's gonna retire in the WWE, and I think that's it.
So you are predicting this Saturday is his last match?
That part I'm not sure about. I do think he retires this year, and I don't know if it's a Saturday, but I don't think he's going to TNA. I don't think he's going to AEW. I think, and I know, and if he, okay, I take that back. If he doesn't retire this Saturday, I do see him wrestling a match in TNA. I just don't see him wrestling in AEW.
Yeah, I said I see him losing this week and then wrestling in the other
I will
promotion.
never count out the idea of a retired AJ Styles with no contract showing up in AEW for like a segment or a special referee or something. That I'll never say never about. I don't know if I see him wrestling there. I don't know why. It's like, you know what's so sad is like you think of like Hulk Hogan or like the Macho Man Randy Savage, and you go and you're like, yeah, their last match was in TNA, but like nobody remembers that. You know what I mean? Like
I couldn't even tell you.
You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. Like it just end it where the story should end. You know, like I don't want to know that.
When you think of AJ,
yeah.
But when you think AJ Styles, you do think of TNA though. Where
no, but in TNA is okay. I'm just saying.
Up.
I know TNA is okay for AJ. I don't see him wrestling in AEW. Is my point. I just think it's weird. And it's like a lot of wrestlers.
Right.
A lot of wrestlers like bow out and they just don't wrestle again because they, you know, they have a retirement tour like a John Cena. The one thing that I will say about AJ is that there hasn't been like a tour. Like I posted that meme that Still Real Party put up about like, oh, maybe we've been watching the AJ Styles retirement tour this whole time and we didn't know it. Like there hasn't been an actual tour, and I think that they're not making a big deal about it does leave it open to like, oh, I guess it's like he never like. I don't know, maybe he'll wrestle again, but I'm just not against it. Do I think he loses Saturday and retires? I actually kind of think he does. I think this is it. I think Gunther wins and we continue moving. Chaos.com, Jackpot City keeps you in the action. Free spins and big wins and more drama than the WrestleMania main event. RV, we're going to do it again. Here we are, 3 spins. If I win any money, I get to make my choice. If I don't win any money, you get to make your choice. What match should have main evented WrestleMania? Hopefully I don't have to do this again. Hopefully, let's see what happens here. Spin number 1. Spin number 2.
Looking good, looking good.
Spin number 3. RV, what match do you think should have main evented WrestleMania that did not?
Time for me to talk. It should have been Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle from WrestleMania 21. Probably one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time. In my opinion, that should have been the main event that year.
It was a banger of a match, but it was a pretty stacked WrestleMania, so that's pretty insane to think about.
Head to jackpotcity.com, catch your bonus today, play like a champ, and win like a champion. Because if Gunther doesn't beat him, then like now you tap to Jey Uso. Now you can't retire people anymore. You just
you're running on. There was a part of me too that when this match got booked, I'm like, did they book this match too soon? Right? Like, because like Gunther can't just like not retire AJ and still run with his made John Cena tap out thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it though. I'm looking forward to that match.
I am too.
That's what wrestling's about, right? It finally has us like we don't know what's gonna happen, and then we're gonna watch Unreal Season 3 or next year, and then they're gonna spoil it all for us.
How do you feel about Shinsuke and AJ?
Good match.
Good banger. I think it was honest, and I might be wrong. Maybe this is just like based off of the recent memory, better than my old school memory. But I know the Wrestle Kingdom match was fantastic, and I know this match was fantastic. And I feel like maybe this match was better than any of the 3 matches they had in 2018, in my opinion. I have to go back and maybe watch those Shinsuke AJ matches. I was there for that WrestleMania, and I just felt like this felt more like AJ Styles and Shinsuke than those matches.
Yeah. Compared to the WrestleMania match, I thought this was better.
Yeah. They had that whole like low blow storyline going on at that point and stuff, so it was like a little bit different, but I really enjoyed it. And then him versus Punk was cool. Obviously, Finn ran the interference.
Great match, actually. Though I have no problem with the interference and how it finished. It was a good match.
As someone that like would scour the internet and like download wrestling matches on like LimeWire and Kazaa, and then discovered YouTube and like would find these Ring of Honor matches of Punk and like IWA Mid-South matches of Punk and Styles. Like, it was cool for me to like have that moment too, because I've remembered just like when they had that triple threat when it was AJ and Punk in there, and I was like, man, they really need a singles match. And like I don't know, like I was like, if this is last Raw, like, and I'm sure they knew and they read the intent. Everybody was making that same prediction. I made it to them, like, they need to have Punk and AJ tonight if this is it. And you know, AJ was emotional before the match. Like, it kind of makes you think, like, is this it? Like, oh, you want to pull out the special gear for Saturday night's main event? Is this it?
Yeah, and he did say that he wanted to wear that gear
at Rumble.
For the Rumble, but then the Shinsuke moment was too special for him to save it.
Yeah.
It's tough.
And Shinsuke like leaked something too that made it sound like AJ was already retiring at the Rumble when he heard about it, and then he had to take it down. So like, I don't know. Like, this is so me, you know, hey, maybe this is for the Unreal documentary, and like,
yeah.
But everybody thought I was going to retire at the Rumble. Triple H,
another Seth Rollins moment.
We thought it was best for business to make it seem like he was going to retire in January, but we know.
But you know who does know what's going to happen?
What?
The Rock.
Yeah, the Rock knows everything. We'll see. The Rock saves AJ Styles. We are rocking AJ Styles at WrestleMania. Before we wrap things up, obviously Raw was good. I think overall Otis and Tozawa are new #1 contenders and stuff.
I was a little shocked with that though, but
Judgment Day is strong and together in terms of the women right now. Maybe we'll see some cracks form in the Rumble. But outside of all that, I guess for like really quickly, because we haven't talked about it. It did come out last week and we said we'd talk about it. How do you feel about Unreal? Did you have a favorite episode? Was there anything that stood out to you?
I'm still in shock with how they feel about Chelsea Green. Like,
yeah,
for them to say that, unless like, you know, they're just kind of annoying us. How do you not think she can't be part of the bigger picture here?
Yeah,
especially in WWE. She's so over. And you know what? That now it makes me more offended too, because she should have had her women's match to win the United States title in Vancouver when War Games was here.
But it's not even that. It was the fact that they're like, she could beat these women, but it's not believable that she'll beat Charlotte or Alexa or Tiffany. It's like, we'll make it believable. That's what you guys do. Like,
no, okay. Charlotte, I can say sure. Like, you know, that would be a banger. Like, it would take time, but she can beat Alexa and Tiffany.
Yeah, like it was. Well, one thing I take, there's a couple things I took from. One of the moments that stood out to me the most that I thought was really funny was R-Truth being like, no, they didn't renew my contract. They called me and said, we're not renewing your contract. And then Triple H being like, well, you know, he didn't come with us for like contract renewal conversations. Like, we were waiting for him to come to us. Like, what are we doing here? Like, you want to, like, Triple H is spewing one narrative, and R-Truth was like, no, I'm pretty sure I was fired. Like, I was like, they told me, like, I'm not coming back. Then you have Road Dogg being like, well, I understand, like, he's kind of old. Like, there's not really much of a reward of signing him again. But then crying about like helping to get him resigned. I'm like, this is the weirdest episode I've seen in my life. Like,
yeah. Like, if Road Dogg knew he's not getting renewed, and like your best friend's Triple H here, and he's, you know, you're the guy that writes the storylines, and one day you're gonna realize, you know, hey, R-Truth isn't here, and Triple H will be like, yeah, because we're not resigning him, and then now he's crying about it, you know, R-Truth not coming back. I don't know, the whole moment to me was really weird. It didn't seem genuine, other than maybe R-Truth's part. The whole thing just seemed staged.
I enjoy the show as a wrestling fan. That, like, you know, I enjoy, and I know it's not fully for wrestling fans. It's for people that might be on Netflix that see the wrestling, they want a show that's not really wrestling. The show's kind of how it's all. But I get it. Yeah. As a wrestling fan, I enjoy
watch it. I'm still gonna tune in.
I think it's funny when they do like, my name is Kobe Lopez, Seth Rollins, God, this, that. I think I'm like, this is naming every name. It's pretty funny. But I
also sorry to cut you off there, but I think I gained a little bit more respect for Becky Lynch though.
No, she's cool. I mean, she also said that.
Like, I mean, I've always thought you're a great wrestler, but just like the things that she does behind the scenes, and you know,
we talked about it last week about what she said about her contract. But I think the one thing that's like I took away from it is like, maybe season 1 felt a little bit more raw and like a little bit more real. This season felt like it was a little bit more. We did things for the show. We did this fake injury angle for the show. We did this R-Truth thing for the show. We did Gunther and Pat for the show. It felt more scripted. And then I also seen it on the flip side being like, well, if it feels so scripted, is it smart to show how kind of inadequate your writing team is and how old-headed they are and how, like, you know, like,
internet was passionate.
Yeah, because like it's like you're literally showing that your creative team, and maybe this is my opinion, I don't know if people agree with me, but you're showing me that your creative team isn't really that creative. Like, and maybe, and to be fair, we're always seeing snippets that they want to show us. Obviously, there's probably a lot of clips that are left on the editing room floor because I know how like shows and stuff are produced. But like, I'm like, from what they did show, it kind of makes it seem like WWE's creative process is not that great. Like,
Well, you're not the only one to think that on the internet. They were straight bashing these guys. They're like, so this is your creative team? Like,
and it's just a bunch of old guys. No offense to them, but like, and it's
people
like,
are like, Unreal showed us like, yeah, how crappy your writers are. They're like, that's what we got from the whole show, just how bad your writers are.
like, why are you showcasing the flaws? And it's not even that, like, you're showcasing the flaws. That whole scene, that whole Chelsea Green scene where, like, he pitched, okay, Chelsea wins the title back from Zelina. And Triple H says, who does he wrestle? And then, like, Road Dogg's just having, like, a breakdown, like, I don't know. You're right. I'm sorry. I don't know. I was just like, I'm like, what is happening here? Why are you showing this? For years and years and years and decades, wrestling fans have been like, after creative team, after creative team, da da da. And now you're showing them that you guys really, like, the wrestling fans that think that they could be better bookers, you're giving them fuel to the fire. Like,
I wonder if this is going to create more buzz for Chelsea, and when she comes out, the fans are going to cheer her
I think
more.
they already love her. I don't think this is. I think she's already loved. They already cheer her. She's a bad person. They cheer her.
She is. She's great.
She came out in Montreal on SmackDown as a Mountie, and we all were hyped.
Yeah.
Anyways, and before I wrap up really quickly on Chelsea, I love that spot on SmackDown where Jordan Grace and Jade were outside and she did the dive on. I'm like, talk about like, hey, I'm gonna get squashed. I'm gonna lose to you. No problem. Can I just get this spot in? Okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, can I just get this cool spot in at the opening where I jump you from behind with a dive? And it's like, that's what makes Chelsea great. And that's something I think all wrestlers can learn from. Like, you can be okay with losing, but, find a little small spot that might be able to get you over.
To me, she's world champion material.
Yeah. But yeah, we should wrap this up. That's it for Bell to Bell. I don't know. Like, Jacob. Oh, did you see the Jacob Cody segment on SmackDown too? That was great.
Very personal. Very personal.
That was great. He's like, you think I'm not in control? I am in control.
Yeah, people think I'm wild, but I know what's going on.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But anyways, yes, make sure you guys subscribe to Bell on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I apologize, we didn't get to dive into SmackDown too much, but we are heading into an interview right now. We are heading into an interview with the Wild Child, Jody Threat. Make sure you guys stick around, watch the interview. She's super dope. She wrestles a lot here on the Canadian independent scene. She wrestles in America. She's on TNA. She tag teamed with Danny Luna. She's done a lot of crazy stuff. She's wrestled Mercedes in Winnipeg, done Mercedes Banner 2025 year. We talk about all of that. She's also a trainer out in Canada for wrestlers. So stick around, stay here, watch our interview with Jody Threat. She's super cool. And we'll see you guys all next week for some more wrestling recap outside of that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, the Wrestling Guys Guild, RV. We got a very special guest for this episode today, none other than the Wild Child herself, Jody Threat. How are we doing today?
Good, feeling nice and warm since I'm inside and not outside.
A lot of snow going on there. I saw, like, obviously WWE was in town. And you can see all the wrestlers being shocked by the snow and stuff as well. It's been a little
And they
insane.
came once it was like cleaned up. The city did a very good job at actually, corralling the snow into piles so people can get around. So
well, I guess
saw it Sunday.
I guess that's a good thing about Toronto because you guys are used to the snow. You guys are prepared for it. It's always crazy when places that don't get a lot of snows out of nowhere and they don't know what to do. Like, they're stuck in their houses.
Emergencies.
I'm like, I don't remember a entire day in my life I had a snow day. So I think that's like because worries on top of it. But how are you? How's everything going? I got a ton of things I want to ask you, but I've obviously seen you live on the independent scene. I've watched you on TNA. I've seen all the stuff you're doing. First things first, tell me if the story's true. Because I did my research, but I'm not, sometimes the internet can be wrong. Is it true that you were inspired to wrestle by going to a super kick show?
Yeah, but an independent walked in and it was it. Love at first sight.
Were you a wrestling fan prior to that?
No, not at all. It was literally one of those moments. I didn't know what I was missing until I accidentally stumbled into it and got drunk off of it, I guess, and never looked back since.
Did you do any like combat fighting and MMA or anything prior to that, or was it you're like this wrestling thing I really want to try it out? Like this is new to me.
Truly, I've been an athlete my whole life, playing like a variety of sports and skateboarding, snowboarding, and like even like in university, I was playing a high level rugby. So, being active and that sort of thing was very natural to me. Also, like coming up in like the punk rock scene in Toronto, that sort of energy, but coming to a show, it was less about the fighting per se and more about just like the vibe and what I was experiencing. I just felt like my two worlds collided in one spot. I'm like, oh, I understand. This is my calling.
But when you went to the show, like, did you go talk to someone right away and said, hey, like, how do I get into wrestling? And
It was more organic. So it, like almost like a movie, really. So I walk in. So I got to paint the picture for you. Okay. So
Please do.
Frankly, I was trash for real. I was out. It was Toronto. It was a Friday night, and I was with my sister, and I was walking along Queen Street West, which you do when you're in your 20s, and I noticed like a handwritten sandwich board, where it says the daily specials for a restaurant, and it just said live pro wrestling with like an arrow, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And my sister's like, I don't know. And I'm like, but I think I do. And so we go down these like sketchy stairs into this like venue, which I'm very familiar with. The upstairs venue, it's like a lot of good music's played there. It's the Great Hall. But downstairs, never been downstairs. Didn't know there was a downstairs. So we go down these like very narrow stairs. I'm like, okay, what are we getting into? And then there's just like a mass of people. And in the middle of all these people, it resembled like almost like a mosh pit, like like a punk show that I would be at. There's just this ring set up. And I'm like, what the hell is this? So like we go in and it just happened. Things were happening. The energy was there. And I was like, oh, I understand. This is it. And I'm not joking when I say I took 2 steps back, like, and I hit into like a weight-bearing hole in the middle of the venue. And I turn around and there's like a white piece of paper that was like, want to be a pro wrestler? Sign up here. And there was like an email address.
So it's like
so I obviously snapped a photo.
A little documentary movie scene right there, right?
Yeah. It really felt that way. So the rest is history. Emailed and here we are.
When you first got into wrestling, was there any like specific wrestlers you decided you want to study to kind of figure out your style, or like who were some people you kind of were influenced by?
So not being at all a wrestling fan growing up, like I did come up in the Attitude Era, so I knew what wrestling was. I knew, China.
Yeah.
I knew these sorts of things. I knew Suck It. Like this was it. So I kind of entered with a different approach of things and just knowing what my personality was like. I kind of studied those that reflected that. So like obviously Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Was like a big person I would watch. But then and we don't really talk about him much, but Chris Benoit, just looking at like that sort of intensity and that style, and kind of just around those sorts of styles, really was what I was gravitating towards in the beginning. But truly, like when I first got in, it was just watching everything and anything because I did not know what the heck I was getting into, right?
Yeah.
And I found actually I was more inspired by people I was able to meet and like respect and know. So like instantly Josh Alexander was someone I gravitated towards immediately. Just his work ethic, his he's a workhorse, and that was kind of what I tried to model myself after.
That's awesome, because that is one of our questions I did want to ask you. Is like, what do you think is one of the biggest things you learned from Josh Alexander? Because he is a workhorse, and he's been doing this for years now. I had him on the show a while back, and we talked about how long he's been doing this for. What's something you can say you've really learned from Josh Alexander?
I learned a lot from him. Like, I guess just like my standard of what it means to work hard, I think, is what changed. Like I always thought that I was a hardworking person, but when I started training with Josh, I actually understood what it meant to have no excuses and just do it. Like he, when he opened his school, had like a very young family, like, pretty new into his marriage. He had Jet, who was like very young. He had his other son, who was a bit older, but still really young. Not to mention he held down like a job in construction, which was insane, was still working the indies every single weekend, and was just sort of newly signed to Impact at the time, aka TNA. And so just seeing him balance all those things and also always make sure that he was training in the gym. For me, it was someone to say, oh, like that's that's what working hard looks
Yeah.
like. I can never complain again. So I think, like I said, I learned a lot from him, but like I think what he changed in me was like understanding what it meant to work hard, and also someone that works with such integrity, because we know what integrity is, but to see integrity in wrestling is, most people just do whatever it takes to make money, where I feel like money is not his driving force.
No, I feel like it was wrestling, and then it became his family after that, and that started building. And that's it too. You brought up TNA, so I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. They just debuted on AMC, bigger network. Things are being shaken up right now. You from what I know, you re-signed with them this year in January. So like, how do you feel about TNA and the moves that they're making now, being on AMC? Like, how exciting is that for you as a performer to know that, hey, we have the opportunity to be in front of more eyes and grow our audience here?
I think it's freaking fantastic as like a crew of people who work very hard and we share a vision. It's sometimes in this industry, hard work doesn't pay off, and I feel like it is paying off for us. Like it started with like us landing our agreement, our arrangement with Sportsnet in Canada, and now for us to jump on a bigger network in America, AMC. Like I think it's fantastic, and I think that it's such a neat thing for hard work to pay off. I'm really excited. So like I was in that boat of people with the visa situation, so I have not been able to be on the network yet. So I look forward to everything legally has sorted itself out. So next loop I will be there, and I can't wait for myself to be able to be on such a big network.
All three of us are Canadians there, so like I think we can all agree. Like I grew up watching TNA when I was on Spike and stuff, but like the biggest hurdle with TNA that we had in Canada was we couldn't find the networks that it was on for a second when they were on Pop and Discovery and stuff. So like when they did come to Sportsnet, it was really cool because I'm like, oh, finally I can like watch this, tape them on my DVR. Like
right. And as Canadians, we walk into bars now, and like Sportnet is what is on at most bars. And so it has been an adjustment for me to walk in, and I'm like, I'm on the TV screen. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, I'm outside Hooters in like Winnipeg, and I'm like on the screen, and like I'm like so awkward, and I'm like what the heck? It's very surreal.
Talking about visa, so you've wrestled, I guess, different parts of the world as well too.
Yeah.
Is there one memory you have of a certain place that you wrestled, or was it different wrestling in other countries?
For sure, crowds. I feel like crowds are a lot different. I feel like in Canada versus US, there is similarities, but there's differences, especially when you start going into like the smaller towns in America. I sense it, but like the UK crowds, like specifically in like Wales and like maybe England, like just the way they cheer, like they chant like soccer, which is like really neat.
They've got football culture there,
and you really see it in how they celebrate what's happening around them, and it is really neat. And I feel like I still have so much of the world to travel. I was really lucky where I got snapped up fairly young in my career, so I haven't been able to go to Japan yet. I haven't been able to go to Mexico yet, and those are two places that I cannot wait to get going a bit harder when, you're obligated to TV contracts. You can't disappear for a few months. But I'm really excited to explore like what those crowds are like.
Yeah. And I've always felt, and you know this, will know this way more than I do. I'm just speculating, but I always feel like when it comes to the UK, the United States, and Canada, there's like, they all appreciate wrestling, but they all appreciate it in a different way, a different style, and it's cool to be able to figure out your stuff in front of that. How did you come up? Because I've seen it in person. I've seen you. I was commentating here at WrestleCore when you wrestled. I've seen you do this stuff. How did you come up with the wild child persona? Like you come out there, the crowd gets amped. It's always a fun time. You do a lot of crowd interactive stuff too, which is always fun. How did you come up with this persona? Like, why is this an exaggerated version of yourself? Or
you are meeting 20-year-old Jody.
Okay.
I'm a little older than 20 now, so I'm a little more chilled out in my day-to-day, but you are meeting Jody, who used to rage at those punk rock shows every single weekend, really from like 16 to like 22. This is who you're meeting.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
There was no
I've
coming
been
up
there
with
and the
it.
crowd gets amped. You come out there, you're all filled with adrenaline. Then all of a sudden the crowd's all filled, especially the shows where it's like there's alcohol there, they're rowdy too.
Yes, these are my people. It's if you ever have you. I'm assuming you guys have been to live music.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, tons.
Yeah.
Have you been to those with like a mosh pit, like that sort of?
I used to go to a lot of shows at the Commodore. I had a friend that worked at the Commodore Ballroom here in Vancouver, so I would go to concerts to artists I didn't even know. Some of them have become bigger artists now, but this was back in like 2012 and 11 and stuff. But yeah, I have.
So you know that wild like chaos, like passionate energy happening in the pit. That's honestly what I channel in my heart when I like run through the curtain. And I would like for you to like compare that next time you see me to like what you see and see if you can see it, if I'm doing a good enough job there.
No, definitely. There's a couple things I want to ask you. I'm going to ask you now so we don't forget.
Sure.
First things first. We've seen the videos, you've done a lot of cool kind of like vlog documentary style stuff with yourself, with the camera following you along while you're doing things. One of the things we did to get to see was before Trish Stratus made her return, you got to work out with her and help her get back into like ring shape at Battle Arts Academy out there. How was it working with Trish? How was that whole experience?
She's awesome. And she's just even, like I said, I didn't grow up being a wrestling fan, but like that's a name that you knew even if you weren't a wrestling fan. Yeah. So it's very cool that someone that is so respected has now turned around and has come to like myself and my team, and like my friends and I actually opened our own new gym called New Wave, and she even followed us to New Wave and has done some work with us there. It's really humbling, and it's really like something to aspire to be when like maybe I'm not so active in the wrestling world, but then I want to make a return to like to want to have that much respect for wrestling that I need to like become wrestling fit again. And that was something that Trish has always said, is that when she comes back in the ring, even if she's off, she wants to be in there like she hasn't even missed a step at all. And I think she's done like a really good job in doing that. And she's very committed to her training and getting her reps she needs to be able to get any sort of rust off. So it's an honor. And like I said, very humbling that she like trusts myself and the team at New Wave to help her prepare for opportunities.
RV, I'm gonna spin the slots 3 times. If I win, I gotta make a hot take. If I win any money, if I don't win any money, you have to make a hot take. Let's see what happens here. Spin number 1. Spin number 2. Here we go, man. Spin number 3. RV, you gotta make a hot take.
There you go. Brock Lesnar's coming back to the Royal Rumble. He's going to win it. He's going to go on to main event WrestleMania, and he's going to fight Cody Rhodes because Cody Rhodes is getting his title back. That's why.
Honestly, as long as it's not Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, I'm with it.
Head to jackpotcity.com and catch your bonus today. Play like a champ and win like a champion.
Is New Wave kind of like your own school? Do you teach there? Or what? Like, give me a little bit more about New Wave for those that might not know.
Yeah. So New Wave was originally a school in Wales, in Cardiff area. And there was, it ended up being like 3 locations, like Mandrews ended up opening a location, Flash opened a location, and the original one was Brendan and Wild Boar have a location. So myself and a lot of my friends, and when I say my friends, I'm talking about Shane Saber, Mark Wheeler, Gabriel Forza, Alexia Nicole, Freedom Wallace. Like a lot of us have traveled in our careers, and a lot of us have happened to end up in the UK and have just by chance ended up training ourselves. Because when you're on the road, you like to pop into different schools, especially schools with like great trainers and people. And New Wave was somewhere that we like all just happened to end up at some point. And we just kind of got into a position earlier last year, I would say in the spring, where we were like, it'd be really neat for us to just have something that is our own, where we can do it sort of our way, a community space where we can, help people not just learn wrestling, but to be good people in wrestling. And we're like, why don't we open our own space? And off the inspiration of New Wave, we kind of just brought it to Canada and kind of just are trying to live that way, where it's like the person first, the wrestler first, by the wrestler, for the wrestler, somewhere where you can grow and learn how to be a good person and a good pro wrestler.
Yeah. I think it does make a big difference that it's like by the wrestlers. It's not like someone owning a facility and just trying to, you know, take the course, take the money and like whatever. But
yeah, no.
I'm gonna put you on the spot here. And then I know this is tough. But
Okay.
I know like also myself, like first and just across Canada, but especially like in the GTA area, like there's a lot of good wrestlers, out of the GTA area. And you name some there that you work with, like for you know, on the list of trainers and stuff that are on New Wave. So I'm just curious, like if there's one person that like, if you were Willy Wonka and you could give them the golden ticket to have like a match on TNA, who's someone that you think in that GTA area that you think, oh, you know, so like, this is someone that I wish really got that opportunity?
This is probably sounds really biased, but I don't mean for it to be.
Yeah.
I feel like number one, I can't name just one, so I'm gonna hit you with like three people.
Put them in a triple threat. They get a triple threat showcase.
Yeah. Honestly, it's the boys that we have at New Wave. Like Alexia Nicole has already had shots with TNA, so that's why I'm not going to throw her into this. But honestly, like Mark Wheeler.
Great.
Gabriel Forza.
Great.
And Shane Saber. Like, honestly, those are three guys that are so effing good. And I really feel like if they weren't stuck in Canada, because it is really hard as a Canadian worker being seen by the right eyes in America, right? There's a lot of legalities around that. But I think if those three guys just were given a shot, they could show like what Canada has to offer. And it makes me so sad sometimes knowing that like they haven't been given the opportunities I have, because truly like they're better workers than I am in all way, shape or form. I was just the one to be given an opportunity. And I just feel so lucky that's literally the team at New Wave.
I'm very familiar with Gabriel and Wheeler. I've not seen a lot of Saber, so I definitely want to check him out.
So underrated and drives me nuts because he is like, he can make anyone look like $1 million, and he's usually my first phone call if I need to like think through something. Like it's always Shane Saber. Yeah, I
will definitely check him out after this. Speaking about opportunities, you had a really cool opportunity to be part of the Mercedes Money Ultimate Monet Dragon run of 2025. How was it working with Mercedes at Winnipeg Pro Wrestling? How was that vibe? Obviously, wherever she goes, there's a crowd. But just to get the opportunity to work with her, like that's something like, you know, especially since, you know, you're in TNA, she works for AEW, maybe an opportunity that kind of broke the fourth wall there for a second. But how was, not the fourth wall, but the wall that's kind of there for a second. How was,
the boundary?
The boundaries. You kind of walk across the borders where you're in the no man's land there for a second.
That's what's beautiful about the indies, isn't it?
Yeah. How was that? How was it working with Mercedes?
Her personally, what a pro. I have only but positivity and good things to say about my experience there. I feel like that was a match that I needed to grow as a performer. I've said it on a few podcasts, but sometimes wrestling's really hard. It gets in your head and you feel a certain way about yourself, and sometimes you need a match to kind of take you out of that funk. And I feel like for me, that was something I needed in that moment, just feeling a bit stagnant. But the fact that I was able to rock and roll with, you know, potentially the best in the world was just something I needed. And for it to be at Winnipeg Pro Wrestling, I am their big baby face. So I just feel like if had it been any other crowd, just her sheer fame and you know, her reputation, even if she's trying to be a heel, they're going to cheer for her. But because it was at Winnipeg Pro Wrestling, where they are so loyal, the reactions were there that were meant to be there, and we didn't have to like sort of go in a way that, you know, that maybe would have made a different story. It was very much the natural story there. Not to mention it was like Winnipeg Pro's big show, which in like their big Burt theater down there, which holds, I think we got over 1,600 people
That's crazy.
in-house. And
Yeah.
and I feel like what was really neat is that they sold most of those tickets without even announcing that she was going to be there. It was kind of like an add-on, which then just blew the show up even more. It was potentially the perfect storm.
It looked great. And you're right. Like they were really like, they were still fully behind you. She got to fully play into being the bad guy. It was like, I watched it actually just a couple of days ago again, because I was preparing for this. I'm like, oh, let's watch that match. Cause Mercedes is probably my favorite women's wrestler. So I was like,
she's so sick.
So I was like, oh, let's watch this Jody Threat Mercedes match. I'm like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah. Did you like it? What
I
were your
enjoyed it.
feelings
No,
on
I really enjoyed it.
That was a fun match.
Yeah.
She's someone that like, I will always enjoy watching. You know, those like certain wrestlers where you're like, I don't, besides storylines, everything else, like I just enjoy watching them wrestle. She's one of those people I really think when she's in that ring, you can tell she loves wrestling. And sometimes the people that love wrestling, like they'll go above and beyond in the ring, and she's one of them. So it was a great match. I think you guys both killed it.
Yeah.
I think you guys told a great story.
Thanks.
And you could tell the fans, you know, they probably want that rematch. They probably want you to get that belt back. So
let's go.
Hopefully,
Come on, anytime, any place, anytime. I need that belt back, baby.
Whenever she's off her sabbatical of losing the TBS title, maybe you guys can run it back. Let me ask you this, right? Because if you don't mind me asking, like, when did you start wrestling? Like, what year was it?
That's a great question. You're gonna make me do math. If we rewind back, I know that this October was like 8 years of me being pro, in the sense that I was making money off my matches.
Yeah.
And so there was maybe 9 months before that of training before I got to that point. So
2018.
So I've been around. Yes, I think it was like 2017 is when I kind of started training, and 2018 must have been when I like started, like got my debut match or something, or in and around there.
So that being said, I was just curious, like, have you seen a change in like, you know, the women's wrestling for you on your side as a performer, and also as like someone that's a trainer for women's wrestlers and stuff like that too? Like, have you seen a change in women's wrestling since 2018 to now? Have you seen any sort of like drastic, like, you know, things are, you know, we're taken more seriously, where the main event, like what have you seen in the landscape of women's wrestling?
Oh, I love that question. So obviously I'm lucky where I came up in like I'm going to call it an easier time.
Yeah.
Where it was okay to be a good women's wrestler that didn't necessarily sexualize it. My character specifically, like I go over and above trying not to sexualize what I do, and I carefully craft what I put online, because there is I just want to be a representation of what it means to be a woman that maybe isn't like typical, right? And I want there to be examples so that anyone could realize that like you being a woman is how you want being a woman is. And I think that my character has been received really well. Even though, like I said, I'm pretty conservative in how I dress, if you will, or, you know, a bit modest, if you will. And I think it has been easier. And I feel like even if I was 5-10 years earlier, maybe I would not have been afforded certain opportunities because I wasn't showing off so much. So I think that's one thing. But the most tangible thing that I've noticed is in the past, there wasn't a lot of female matches on shows on the indies, especially like even the really shindy ones, if you will, like the low small scale ones, where it would be like a single match if you were lucky, and if there wasn't some, like I was lucky, I was always able to wrestle the boys, so I'd have like a lot of intergender matches just because there wasn't per se like a women's match on the card, but people saw value in how I worked and put me in those opportunities. Fast forward to like the last 2-3 years, you're seeing many independent shows having multiple female matches. Like C4 does an excellent job of showcasing many women matches. Greektown does a really great job. So does Demand Lucha. Smash is picking up more women, which is awesome too. But like it melts my heart knowing that it's not just one singular match or like one singular spot, but you're seeing multiple women matches female versus intergender in multi-man matches. Like I could see. And also like having the school that we have now, like we have like 8 or 9 females training.
Yeah,
When
I was
I was
gonna
coming
say
up,
that
it was
'cause I
me
saw
and
the
like this
picture.
girl. Yeah. So it's like we're also seeing more, and I don't know if there's a correlation with like the changes, and that's why you're seeing more females in like a male dominated space or what it is. But I think we're trending in the right direction. Like there's still a lot of work, obviously, but I think we are trending in the right direction.
No, I agree. It's not like the token women's match, and like we have to have a women's match. Like yada yada. It's like no, like we're seeing shows now in a lot of those companies you mentioned. I can even say like Boom or like Dreamwave, where it's like all women show. It's an all women show, and they're actually like selling tickets and it's going out there. And I think you're not wrong about that too. Is I think if you looked like 10 years ago or like 15 years ago, and you look at a picture of like, you know, a training school and their class, it'd be all these dudes and like 2 girls or maybe 1 girl. Well, like even like I was saying, I was scrolling on your page before this and I was like, I saw you with a group of girls and I was like, oh, like there is enough screen of girls that want to be professional wrestlers, and because it's become less sexualized and there was a women's revolution, it's like, I feel like they can do it now, and they have more people to look up to and like take advice. Like there's a lot of people now, like we see it on TV where someone's like, I really looked up to Becky, like Lyra really looked up to Becky, or Indy really looked up to Sasha and B. And it's like, oh, this is that generation that's coming up that way now. Let me ask you this then, as a trainer and someone that's in the industry, to a girl that wanted to get into the professional wrestling industry, what advice would you give them?
Stay true to yourself. I feel like you really can lose yourself in this industry, and there's a lot of pressures to do certain things, which those things aren't wrong, but they're just not for everyone. And I think that it's very important to understand what's important to you and to stay true to yourself, and to figure out how to make it work being yourself. It might be harder sometimes, but it's worth you not crossing some of your own personal boundaries, and like I said, just being true to what you want to do and how you want to do it.
That's awesome. Hopefully they hear that. Hopefully they'll be able to see this, because I think that's great advice. Last few questions here and we'll wrap it up. First things first, I always like to ask people that come on the show, just in case someone's seeing you for the first time or hearing from you for the first time, if there is a match that you would recommend them to go find and watch of Jody Threat, to kind of let them know who you are, like what are like 1 or 2 matches you think they can find online that they could probably watch?
Well, I guess because we already talked about it, go to the Winnipeg Pro Wrestling YouTube page and check out my match from this fall. I feel like it was October or November against Mercedes Monet. Personally, that was one of my like favorite ones in the most recent. And then any of my matches against Danny Luna, my former tag team partner, when you battle your best friend in real life and on screen, it's something different. It's something magical. So for my women's matches, I would see that. I obviously love intergender wrestling. So if I were to pick an intergender match from the most recent history, maybe... oh my God, I love that. I just put myself on a spot. I was actually talking to Alex Shelley last night. He's one of my mentors, and we had like a low-key banger at like a small promotion called Sanctuary Fight Club in Detroit. If you can dig that up, I think you can find it on their YouTube page. That was like a really fun match they should check out.
I'm going to check that out myself. What's the craziest match you've had? Because obviously you've been involved in like GCW and some crazy hardcore matches and stuff like that. What's the craziest match you've ever had?
Probably that Ultimate X match. Back like 2 or 3 New Years ago. And I think it was the craziest because I'm actually scared of heights.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was, it's kind of a big deal for what it was. We were opening the first pay-per-view under going back to being TNA. And us being like an all-women's match. I thought it was, crazy, and hanging like that was nuts.
Yeah, no, definitely if you're afraid of heights. I can definitely see how that would be scary. I guess I didn't ask you, but I do quickly want to just ask you about that before we wrap up too. Is like, how was it for you? Because like it's a learning experience, of course, but like how was it for you, like going from the indies to like TV? Like what was the biggest learning thing for you doing that?
It's funny, I talk about it all the time. It was quite the adjustment for me. I just, on the indies, it's a bit more fluid, a lot less rules.
Yeah.
And I have a problem with authority. So indies are a bit easier, but obviously with TV, the focus is more on the bigger product and the storylines, and you're like you're always a part of a team, but I feel like you very much have your role on the team and you have specific things and targets you need to hit. So for me, it was just understanding that it's you really need to focus on the bigger picture and how you fit into that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely been a transition. I feel like the last year I've really started to catch my stride, and I feel like this year is going to be a big year for me now that I understand things a bit more.
No, of course. Obviously, TNA has a relationship with NXT. So if the opportunity came up, hypothetically, if they reach out to you like, hey, we want you to go to NXT, want you to wrestle a match, is there someone you on that roster that you would love to kind of get in the ring with? And
Yes.
who?
I did not get my opportunity when she was at TNA, Jordan Grace, and I lost my opportunity. So I'm going to say, and I'll say it again, Jordan Grace.
Okay, all right. But, that's crazy. You guys never crossed paths like that. It'd be cool to see that.
No, we had a match like many years ago at Alpha One on the Indies. But I was like maybe 2 years into wrestling. And so now that I'm a little more seasoned, I would love to run it back.
Last but not least, and once again, thank you to Jackpot City for setting up this interview with Jody Threat, the wild child.
Yes, thank you.
But before we wrap things up here, really quickly, I do feel like as a performer from Canada, someone who trains wrestlers in Canada, New Wave, someone that was also included in these visa issues, what can you say about, because I feel like sometimes it doesn't always get the love it can. Like, what can you say about the Canadian wrestling scene? Why is this something that you think wrestling fans or even independent wrestling fans should maybe take a deeper look at? Because they're like you named a plethora of talent earlier that you think should be showcased in TNA that don't get the opportunities. Like, why should the wrestling fan base have their eye on Canada?
We are a hidden gem. Again, if you don't know about us, you don't know what you're missing. We are lucky, especially in, say, somewhere like Ontario, where we have the opportunity to have a lot of reps because there's just so much wrestling happening, and we're able to really polish ourselves. And I feel like sometimes in America, like I said, there's a lot more eyes in America. People are seen when they're still really developing what they're trying to do. Sometimes it sucks because you're trying to figure it out, and people are blowing up online through these clips and not being able to learn in privacy. And I feel like in Canada, sometimes we get that opportunity to really get polished before people see us. So that would be one reason, is that you have a lot of really polished guys that haven't been seen yet. Not to mention, we're so passionate. We're the underdog, right? So kind of like TNA, where it's like people just want it so badly and work really hard because that's what you have to do to even have a shot at what's going on. And I feel like a lot of times that's what you see in Canada, because you want to make sure that you're ready for when the opportunity comes. You have people grinding, knowing that you might never get that shot, but it's with passion and hope. And I feel like there's something special when people work in that route.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. I just feel like you're a voice for the Canadian people, that you can speak on this, doing all the things you have done once again as a performer, as a trainer, and all of that. And you've been in the industry for years as a woman in the industry. So I really appreciate your time. This is great. If you aren't already, make sure you guys all go follow Jody Threat. I can't stress enough. I forget. I think his name was George, I think, but somebody about he's always telling me about these vlogs and the stuff that you're doing, these videos, these cool little documentary stuff, and I always check them out. So make sure you guys check them out. But follow Jody. And if you're in the GTA and you want to wrestle, like maybe look up New Wave and see how you can get into there and figure out how to hit the ropes and stuff. But thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
I'm sure I'll see you soon somewhere. So
I hope so.
Yeah. We will cross paths again somewhere. I don't know where or when, but we will. It was a pleasure, and it was, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Later.
you. Later.
Yeah, thank you.